Okay, class. So today we're going to be doing questions 34, 35, and 36. And the instructions say to use the variable expressions, these are our variable expressions, to represent the angles of triangles. We know that triangles have three angles, so here's 1, 2, 3 angles, 1, 2, 3 angles, 1, 2, 3 angles. Then they want us to find the measure of each angle and then to classify a triangle by its angles. So we're going to be looking for x to tell us how big each angle is, and then we're going to know what kind of triangle it is by finding out the value of each angle. Remember that so far we've talked about different kinds of triangles. We've talked about right triangles. We've talked about acute triangles. We've talked about obtuse triangles. We've talked about isosceles triangles. We've talked about equilateral triangles. Okay? But when they're asking about what kind of triangle is asked to classify it, they're probably talking about right, acute, or obtuse triangles because that's how you can classify them by their measure. So let's take a look at number 34 first. Number 34, we have these three angles here. And if you remember, a triangle has how many degrees in it? How many degrees are inside of a triangle? If you guessed 180, you guessed correctly. So if I add up these three angles together, they should all equal to 180 degrees. Well, let's do that down here. Let's see if we can solve that. I'm going to have x plus 2x plus 2x plus 15 is equal to 180 degrees. So we can see here, I've taken the three angles, I'm adding them together, and they should all equal to 180 degrees. Well, let me just combine like terms. 1x plus 2x plus 2x is going to give me 5x plus 15 is equal to 180. And from here, I guess we can all see what happens. We all know what happens from here. (180) minus 15. It's 165. Divide both sides by 5. (165) divided by 5 gives me 33. So x equals 33. Well, if x equals 33, well, then I know that angle A is going to be 33 degrees. Angle B is going to be 2 times 33, which is 66 degrees. And I know that angle 3 is going to be 2 times 33, which is 66, plus 15. That's going to give me, let's take a look here. That's 1, carry the 1. That's going to be 81 degrees. So if I look here, my angles in my triangle are 33, 66, and 81. And all of the angles are less than 90 degrees. And if you remember, this is an acute triangle. This is going to be an acute triangle. Let's take a look at number 35. Questions 35, I have x, 7x, and x. And probably just from looking at it right here, you should be able to tell what kind of triangle this is going to be. If you don't know yet, if you can't tell, I'm not going to tell you yet, but you should be able to see what kind of angle, what kind of triangle this is going to be just by looking at these variable expressions here. But let's add these all up together. Let's take x plus 7x plus x. If I add all those variables together, they should equal to 180 degrees. Well, there's a 1 in front of here. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9, so we get 9x equal to 180. Divide by 9. X equals 20. So I know x is equal to 20 degrees. So x here is 20, and x here is 20. And 7 times 2 is 14, so 7 times 20 is 140 degrees. If you still can't tell, let me draw it out for you. Here's R, here's S, here's T. This is 20, this is 140, and this is 20. And I hope you can see that these two base angles are congruent. So what we have here is an isosceles triangle. So number 35 is an isosceles triangle. That's the kind of triangle that we have. So you know what? We did have something else other than the regular 3 that we used by measure. Number 36 looks a little bit difficult, but I'm sure we can get by it together. Again, I have these 3 angles together. When I add them all together, they should equal to how much? 180 degrees. Okay, let's work that out. So, x minus 15 plus 2x minus 165 plus 90 is equal to 180 degrees. Let me write that a little bit smaller. Okay, I just wrote it a little bit smaller here so we can all see it in the screen. Okay, there's a 1 in front of there. Well, now let me put like terms together. I know that 1x and 2x is 3x. I know that negative 15 and negative 165 gives me negative 180. Plus 90 that's there is equal to 180 degrees. All I've done so far is just put like terms together. These are all negative. 15 bad apples plus 165 bad apples gives me 180 bad apples. So now I'm going to get 3x. My signs are different. Subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. So it's going to give me negative 90 is equal to 180. Little simple algebra there that we've talked about before. X comes out to be 90. 270 divided by 3 is 90. So I know x is equal to 90. Well, if x is equal to 90, now I can start figuring out these angles here. Well, this is going to be 90 minus 15. Let's take a look here. It's going to give me 75. So this is 75 degrees. Here I'm going to have 2 times 90 minus 165. Well, 2 times 90 is 180, but let's see here, 2 times 90 is 180 minus, how much did we say? Minus 165. That gives us 15. So this is 15 degrees. And this is 90 degrees here. So I have one angle being 90, one angle being 15, and one angle being 75. And probably from the beginning, we should have been able to see here that this is going to be what kind of triangle? Yeah, if I have a 90-degree angle, it's going to be a right triangle. A right triangle. And we are done with questions 34, 35, 36. Now, we're going to do questions 37, 38, and 39. And if you look at questions 37, 38, and 39, they're asking us to find the measure of the exterior angle. They want us to find the measure of the exterior angle. Here I have an exterior angle here, there, and let's take a look here, out here. They don't denote it by anything, but they want us to find the angle out there. If you remember, the exterior angle, if you remember, the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent angles. These are my two non-adjacent angles. This angle here is adjacent with this one, so these are my two non-adjacent. This angle here is adjacent with my external angle, so this external angle out here is equal to these two angles put together. Add the sum of these two angles together. And this angle out here is the sum of these two angles here. And this was a little tricky. We're going to do this one together. But basically, you get the idea that the exterior angle, let me put a happy face there, because there's nothing there, is equal to the sum of these two angles here. These two, because these two are adjacent, or a linear pair, and these are not. So these two angles together are going to equal this exterior angle here. So let's take a look at question 37 first. Well, I know that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of these two angles together. So I can say then 2x minus 8 is equal to x plus 31. And from here, guys, I hope you can tell that this now just becomes a simple algebraic problem. Well, I got 1x there. Want to get rid of 1x. Now I'm going to add 8 to both sides. And x is equal to 39. But all I did was solve for x. They want to know what the measure of the exterior angle is. Well, I know that x is 39. So in order to find the measure of this exterior angle is 2 times 39 minus 8. So, grab my calculator. 2 times 39 is 78. Minus 8 is equal to 70 degrees. So this exterior angle out here is equal to, this whole angle here is equal to 70 degrees. This angle here is 70 degrees. Now, they're not asking us to expand on that, but let's do that. Let's expand on that. Let's see why it makes sense that this angle here is 70 degrees. Well, if x is 39, then this x is also what? Is also 39 degrees. And if you remember, a triangle has 180 degrees in it. A triangle has 180 degrees. So I can add these two angles together and find how much this angle right here is. I can find how much this angle right here is. Well, obviously, if this is 70, I hope we realize that this should be 110 right here. It should be 110. Oh, and by the way, I want you to notice, what's 39 plus 31? 39 plus 31 is 70. 39 plus 31 is 70. So these two non-adjacent angles are equal to the sum of this right here. But let's take a little deeper look. Let's take a look. Let's add these two together, which is 39 plus 31 is what? Is 70 minus 180 is equal to what? 110. So this angle right here is 110. So right, these angles are a linear pair, equal to 180. So that's why it makes sense then that these two angles out here are equal to the same thing as the exterior angle. If these are a linear pair and this is 70 and this is 110 and a triangle has 180, well, I've used up 110. These two have to add up to how much? To 70, which means that this exterior angle and the two non-adjacent angles are going to have the same measure. Let's take a look at number 38. Again, I have an exterior angle. These are my two non-adjacent angles. And I know that if I add these two together, it's equal to this exterior angle here. So let's do that. Right? I have my two interior angles added together is equal to my external angle out here. Combine like terms. And I guess we can all see here that x is going to be equal to 10. So x is equal to 10. But the question is asking for, the question is asking for the measure of the exterior angle. Well, if x is 10, well, 10 times 10 is 100 plus 9 is equal to 109 degrees. And now, let's take a look at the last question here. Question number 39. They're asking me again to find this external angle out here. Well, I know that this angle out here is going to be equal to these two angles here added together. By the way, this is 90 degrees. But I don't have anything to add these two and set it equal to. There's nothing out here, and I can't put x out there because I have an x here. And I don't want to pick y because then that gets too complicated. However, I do know that inside of a triangle, how many degrees are there inside of a triangle? 180. So if I add all these together and set them equal to 180, I can find x. And if I can find x, then I can find this external angle out here because these two together are a linear pair. So let's do that. So I've taken all my angles on the inside, I've added them together, and they should be equal to 180 degrees. Put like terms together, 1x and 2x is going to give me 3x. 90 minus 21 is going to give me 69. By the way, this 90 is positive, this 21 is negative. It's going to be positive 69. Little algebra. Let me check that again. And x is equal to 37. Well, that just tells me that x is equal to 37, which means that this angle here is 37. And if x is 37, well, I know that these two together are a linear pair, meaning that they add up to 180. So if I want to find this right here, all I got to do then is take 37 minus 180.